All right, welcome back and thanks for tuning in again. So we got here the 354 series Perkins on the 45 kilowatt Empire generator set. The job today is to get all the fuel system stuff reinstalled on it, hook it up to the load bank, and see if we've got any improvement in engine performance, specifically governor droop. I want this thing to have 1 to 1.5 cycles of droop max. So let's get to it. Alright, so here's the engine ready for all of its components to be reinstalled. We got the injection pump and all the injector nozzles. Now I gotta thank you guys, in the last video when I resealed this pump, a lot of people mentioned that I didn't install the check ball that goes in the fuel pressure damper here. Now I didn't install that, although the kit came with a new one, mainly because there wasn't one in the pump when I took it apart. But there was one in there at one point, I believe, because I can see a little wear mark in this pocket here where the check ball would have been. You're probably not going to be able to see it, but this is just a random ball bearing I had laying around. The little check ball, a bit difficult to show, sits in that little pocket. See that? So I pulled that damper back out and installed the new ball that came with the kit. So that seems to just serve to prevent fuel running back out of the advance mechanism. So if you hear any noise in the background, it's probably this thing. I got the smudge pot going because it's pretty cold out today. That'll provide me a little bit of heat. So I'm going to kind of jump around in this video. I don't think I'm going to show installing every nut and bolt to reassemble this thing. We'll do it in steps. I'll get the pump put back on, we'll put the injectors in and the fuel filters and all that good stuff. 2 new fuel filters, obviously, by the way. So let's get to it. So the pump and the fuel filter assembly is back on. Got the witness marks lined up. So with these lines, luckily the seal kit came with new rubber ferrules for the pump lines, and then I just needed to get one for the supply line from the transfer pump here. The transfer pump's on the other side. That's new, and then a new one here. So let's see, what else? Oh, and new aluminum sealing washers for the banjo bolts here. Those are new. Alright, I think the next step is to pop the injector nozzles in. Alright, ready to put the last injector nozzle in. I've coated the bodies with some copper anti-seize, and then I have a little bit of grease holding the copper sealing washer onto the injector body. The anti-seize is just there because they're pretty snug fit in the injector bores, and they were a little bit stuck when I took them out. Hopefully that anti-seize will either prevent any water from getting in there, or if water does get in there, if the thing is kept outside, just prevent heavy corrosion from forming. So, alright, let me go ahead and put all the nuts on and torque them down. I think we're ready to bleed the system of air, get some fresh fuel in it, and fire this unit up. Injection pump's on, shutdown solenoid's on, lines are on, injectors are in, return line's on. We're looking pretty good. So I've got a can of fuel sitting over here. We've got to bleed it from a couple different points. Got to bleed the primary filter housing from this bolt here, this plug. We're going to bleed the secondary filter housing from this banjo bolt, still loose here. This is the output to the input of the injection pump. So we're going to bleed it here. Once we got all the air out up to this point, we'll tighten this up. And I have the 2 bleeder screws on the pump itself loosened. Here and here, as well as all of the lines to each injector are all loose. So we'll bleed it on up. I don't know if we're going to get fuel out of these points immediately before the thing is ready to run. There's quite a volume of fuel to fill up here, and it's only pretty much leak-off fuel in this area. It's low-pressure fuel. Whatever leaks by the advanced solenoid and by the pump itself. So let's put you up on the stand here. I'm going to work the priming lever on the hand pump. me grab the wrenches that I need. And we should start to see fuel in this glass bowl over here before too long. Oh, there it is. Nice red fuel. Gonna keep pumping it until I see fuel. Now, let me take this bolt all the way out. I should see a nice geyser of fuel coming out there. Oh, okay. We got some rags there because we're gonna make a mess. Okay, it looks like good fuel with no air. Gonna put this back in. Get this washer seated all the way on here. I'm gonna keep priming it. Okay. Next, I should see fuel out of here. So we've got this housing filled. Now it's going to go out of this housing into this housing and exit right here. Okay. Making quite a mess, I think. Yes, quite a mess. Okay. So I'm going to keep working the hand pump. I don't know if the hand pump is going to be able to overcome. Well, you know what? It should be able to go past this input valve through the screen into the gear pump or to the vane pump. I don't know if it's going to be able to go past the vane pump into the housing without the pump actually rotating. We'll hit it a few times. If it seems to be building pressure, then we'll quit. I can't see the leader from where I'm at. It feels like I'm still moving fuel. I don't have that characteristic feel of the diaphragm not returning because it's the spring can't overcome the pressure. Oh, I think I see something there. There we go. Look at all that air coming out. Oh, got it out of both of them. Okay, great, great. That's just great. Ooh, a lot of air there. Making a mess. Sometimes you gotta make a mess. That look like a solid stream of fuel? Yes, it does. I'm getting it out of this one as well. Yes. All right. So, where's my little ratchet here? Snug those up. You know, the sad thing is I'm not going to be able to see any obvious leaks here until I clean this up a bit. We could have done that more cleanly. You know, if I was on a customer's job site, I wouldn't just be letting fuel spray everywhere. But here we can be a little bit more messy with it. Okay. So, at this point, I'm going to crank the engine over And we're gonna watch the injector lines. We should see fuel before too long, I would think, if everything's going correctly. Okay. That shutdown solenoid should pull in. Okay. I think I might have a bad battery connection. Oh, nope, not a bad battery connection. I disconnected the crank wire off of the starter. Let me grab a 3/8 socket and I'll be right back. Yeah, I disconnected the crank wire off of the starter when I had the injection pump out. So there was no chance of rolling the engine over accidentally. Okay. Right. All right, let's try that again. Up, I'm seeing some fuel. Yes, I'm seeing good fuel. Okay. Go ahead and crank those down. So, next thing I'm going to do is grab a piece of wood. We'll take the air filter housing off, and we'll have that piece of wood handy in case the engine wants to start and run uncontrollably. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. Okay, I'll be back in just a sec. Alright, well, it's time to start this thing back up. I got my plank of wood over here in case I need to choke the engine out. Now, it might not run at rated speed. We had the whole thing apart, so we'll have to fine-tune the running speed once it's actually running it up to temperature. I'm just going to start it wherever it's running. As long as the starter disengages, I'll be happy. I have the load bank energized so I can look at the frequency and thus get an idea of the engine speed. So all the injector lines are tight. Let's start it up. down around, well, just about 50 hertz. We'll give it a second, get a little bit of heat in it, and then we'll bring it up to 60 hertz, maybe a little bit above. We're making voltage though, that's good. Oil pressure looks fine. I'll tell you what, let's make sure it stops. Okay, that's a good test. We just want to just make sure that the thing stops when you tell it to. All right, I'm going to set you down over here. Probably not going to be able to see the load bank, but I'm going to bring it up to about 60 hertz. Okay, we're at 61.3. That's an acceptable no-load speed for now. I don't see any massive fuel leaks. That's a plus. I'm going to pop the air filter back on and let it run for a little while, and then we'll put some load on it. Well, we've had a few minutes to warm up. We are at 61.5 hertz. Let's put some load on it, see how it does. That's a bad drop. Yeah. I think we're still in the same boat with our governor issue. There you go. We dropped 2 cycles per second with only, well, not even a 50% load. Well, about 50%. 23 kilowatt. It's a 45 kilowatt unit. sounds a lot better. I know you guys couldn't tell in the first video, but it is smooth now. It sounds like a 6-cylinder diesel is supposed to sound. Now, and I don't see any vibration that's out of the ordinary, like I saw previously. So I have a feeling that we did help it. Getting those injectors recalibrated, new fuel filters, and getting the gunk out of that pump did help. We still have governor issues though. There you go, we're right back to where we started with no load. So I'm going to shut her down, and we're going to take that top of the injection pump off, and we're going to move that governor spring. Okay, so we're going to try to adjust the sensitivity of the governor here. So we're going to move that anchor point on the governor lever closer to the pivoting point. In order to do that, I've removed the shutdown solenoid and already loosened and drained all the fuel out of the governor housing. Made quite a mess. This is an unfortunate position for this governor, or for this injection pump. Okay, let's see. Let me release tension on the governor spring. Move this nut up, then move the stud down. Take that all the way off. Okay. Okay. Hopefully we can slide this cover off of here. Yes, we can. Okay, so take you off here. So we're going to go in here. Let me turn the light on. All right, see that pin that the spring is anchored to? That pin? We're going to move it from the center hole over one step to the left to that hole. That's going to place that pin closer to the fulcrum that this lever here pivots on. That should increase the governor's sensitivity and the ability to respond to the load changes. All right, let's see if I can do this without losing anything. I might need a smaller pair of needle nose pliers. Okay, got the spring unhooked. Set that down. Take the pin out there. Put it in that hole. Okay. Now we just got to reconnect that spring. You still in the shot? Yep. I don't want to disconnect the spring from this end because when I try to reconnect it, I don't want to yank hard on the governor lever. Let's see if I take this bolt all the way out. If I can get the spring even closer, I should be able to. Give myself a little bit of room to work. Maybe not take it all the way out. Get it a little bit closer. Got it. Okay. We are reconnected. Alright, that gasket's still in place. And I just have to remember to get the shutdown lever repositioned correctly. Where are those studs at? One right there, one right there. Grab a little screwdriver here. Push the stop lever up. Come on. There it goes. Right. Yep, it's engaged. Stop lever's engaged. I can feel the spring tension there. So we'll pop the little seals back on. And of course we're going to have to bleed the body of the governor again, the housing. I'll have to loosen these two bleeders, and at least we know we can prime it with the hand pump. Once I get good fuel, we'll fire it back up. We're going to have to readjust speed, and then we'll reapply the load. All right, well, I got the air bled back out of the system. We're ready to start it back up, reset speed, and we'll put the load back on it. Okay, we're down to 56 hertz. So we gotta step it back up to 61 and a half. Have improved governor operation at all. Drop, maybe a little less than 2 hertz drop for 20 kilowatt. from no load to full load. Didn't really change anything. Huh. Let's make sure we're not out of horsepower. I'm going to go over there and turn the throttle up to get us back to 60 hertz. Stand by. Okay, so that right there proves we've got enough horsepower to maintain 60 hertz at 45 kilowatt. We're just under 45, just because that voltage is unstable. Let's crank it up a little bit. Now we should be pulling 45 kilowatt. A little bit more actually, 46, 47, there you go. Of course, more kilowatt, so we dropped a little bit of speed again. Let's turn that back up. There we go. So we're making it work now. It can do it. That governor's just not putting it where it needs to be. Let's take all the load off of it in one step. And then we'll throw it all back on in one step. Yep, 64 hertz, no load. And 60 hertz, full load. There you go, 4 hertz worth of drop. Now, in the last video, where we ran this unit, we had 4.5 to 5 hertz of drop. So we did change it a little bit. We did improve it. Still not where it needs to be. I'm going to have to get a new spring for that injection pump for that governor, and we'll have to redo the test. Alright, let's take the load off of it, let it cool off. that's a little disappointing. So we did not get the governor improvement that I was hoping for. We did get the engine improvement, I'll say that much. So we did have some success. But I'm going to have to contact a few people regarding these pump numbers here, see if they can point me in the right direction for the appropriate replacement governor spring that I need. And we'll have to come back to this unit. I was hoping to wrap up the engine repairs in this video, but looks like we're not quite there yet. I have the new control components over here, or some of them at least. Here's the new digital control panel that we'll be installing. It is a Basler DGC 2020. That's the control panel. This is going to be the new enclosure that the control panel is going to be mounted on. Got some bits and pieces inside here, a couple relays, terminals blocks, fuse block, vibration isolators, they're important, some wire loom, just general stuff we're going to need, toggle switch. So this is going to serve as the new control panel for this unit, but we got to get that engine straightened out. So, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, we didn't quite get everything accomplished that I wanted to as far as the governor is concerned, but we did make an improvement. So, stay tuned for more, and thanks again for watching.